it's the Cinema Night Podcast. Look at this. No funky background for me. It's just a plain, boring. That's actually not a white wall. That's actually blue. You can't tell, though. You cannot tell. And actually, it's kind of weird. I never get this much of me. I'm always so much closer like Eric is. I feel like I'm like Travis today. We're getting the little bit of headroom.
You got the Soderbergh Detroit blue filter on. You in Detroit?
Yeah. Oh, no, I'm in beautiful Windsor, Canada, where I always do the show from now. And we're going to focus on Swimming with Sharks, a film not about Detroit, but that'll be today's main focus, selected by Travis Roy, right? You selected that?
I did, indeed.
Indeed, you did.
It's a classic.
Indeed, he did. You did indeed. It's a classic? You're just saying that already. You can't just say
Well, I
that.
mean, it's a movie we watched a lot.
You got to
back
say,
in the day.
is it a classic?
Is it a
classic still?
Does it hold up? I've had a weird week. I got diagnosed with basal cell carcinoma, which is,
fuck is that?
The good skin cancer.
Oh.
So
Why do you have skin cancer?
What's that? How
Why
do I
would
have
you have skin cancer? It's not like you're like
don't know.
living up on the beach all the time.
I don't know. That's partly why I'm telling this story, because it's actually inside my nostril, which is a place that never sees the sun. So it's pretty weird.
Wow.
But I say this not just because I like attention, but mostly just to be like, hey, if you got the little something on you, check it out. You know, I went to the dermatologist and they didn't even look at it. I had to go to the ENT and have him look at it. And he was like, oh, it's nothing. We'll do a biopsy just to make sure. Then he called me back and he was like, actually, and you know, there's 100% survival rate for people that catch it early. So like, I'm sure I'm fine. You know, I'm not too worried. It's pretty.
You
normal.
sure? You're the kind of guy that could worry, though. I worry about you worrying.
Yeah, well, you know, I mean, it's not like it's weird. You know, it's like I have cancer the way that Donald Trump was shot in the head. You know, it's not like not quite. I live in Detroit more. I live in Detroit more than I have cancer. And I live like blocks away from Detroit. You know, like 4 blocks.
That's funny.
Would you be offended if we promoted this as a very special cinema night?
A very special cinema night.
I mean, it's not like, but that's it. Like, I mean, it's just gonna take like a knife and some willpower. It's not like I'm gonna have to like really go through. Well, I mean, presumably, inshallah. Well, you know, I'll find out more on Tuesday. But my whole point,
cuts like a knife episode. Brian.
My
Adams.
whole point, you know, is like look out for the ABCDEs of moles and whatnot. You got something weird on you, something weird color. Mine was a little white bump. You just never know. So check that shit out.
We're glad we caught it, man, for sure.
Yeah, in a nose. Nobody would have known that. Also, I have a client who is going under the knife tomorrow too. Yeah, he was again on his skin. It's a 10 out of 10 worst case scenario, but it's not cancer. So it's like the highest number without it being cancer. You got to check those.
Mm-hmm. Yeah,
check that skin.
I had that in like 2016, 2017. So I got some skin issues apparently. Which
you do?
And another spot that never see the sun.
Which can be hereditary too. Can be.
Yeah, my dad's had it twice. So there you go.
Oh, John!
Oh,
damn
John,
you!
He can't help it. He's a sun worshiper too, so he's lucky that he hasn't had it worse.
Yeah.
Talking George Hamilton?
Shit, buddy.
Or just a casual?
He's got some Hamilton in him. Absolutely. Yeah, definitely. He's the kind of dude that would like, you know what? Remember like in the 80s and 90s, they would like butter themselves up with like shea butter and shit.
Oh,
like,
sure.
Like how do I turn myself into ghee? You
know?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Literally wrap yourself in that Hot Pockets paper blanket.
That's not bad.
Did you have to drop this news on 9/11 though? I mean, come on, man.
Yeah.
Oh well, I dropped the news when I got the news. Sorry. Oh yeah, it's been a real bummer day too because I was teaching the kids 9/11, you know, and now I'm teaching like 16-year-old kids who come from another country. So like half of them had never even heard of it. I'm like, some of them are, they're impressed, they're listening, but some of them are fucking bored because they're like, I don't know what this is, I don't care. I'm like trying to talk about like this huge event and then like
12-year-olds who live here don't know what the hell it is. So.
Right. No, exactly. And it was like 6 classes in a row talking 9/11. So I'm ready to get into some fun. Well, this
we
isn't
picked a fun one.
Comedy.
Yeah. No, we didn't. No, maybe we didn't. Okay. Well, we love you, man. Of course. And
thank you.
What else can we say? We love you. We want you to be okay.
Thank you. I really don't think it's anything to worry about. I say this more just because, like, yeah, it's a good opportunity to remind people to check that shit out. If you got something weird on you.
To Christian, just in case, as permanent guest host, or is that going too far?
In case of my death, who would I nominate?
Succession plan?
References. we did a lot of Succession.
Would you say Luke, but he couldn't talk about society or like socioeconomic stuff?
I wouldn't want to do that to him. That'd be torture.
No. Put a will on it. Limit. There's always stipulations.
No, if I pass, I nominate Chad Gibbons to take my place.
That's a fine choice.
Yeah.
That's a fine choice.
I shouldn't be excited.
Eric, can you top that news? That opener?
Definitely not. Finally got a popcorn kernel out of my throat. I'd call it a win.
That's perfect. Perfect. Thank you very much for that. Okay, then. Good. Well, we're going to do Swimming with Sharks shortly. Send them an iPod@gmail.com. No emails today. I guess everyone has had enough to say. Maybe we're just doing too many shows in a row suddenly. I don't know. It's too much for people. Like, whoa, slow down, everybody. Slow down.
A whole once a week, like usual, or like used to be the first 2 years.
Oh yeah, Travis enlightened us this week. He did some research, and apparently we at half speed last year or two, but we're hoping to get back on track.
Yeah.
And there's also Eric. Can you tell people they'd love to hear about your appearance on a recent show? Come on, you got to promote. You got to do this.
Oh God, I was really happy to go on this guy's show. This guy Travis is really nice. He's like an indie horror super fan. And I went on this show called Horror Realm. Go to YouTube if you're into horror, because this guy, like, he interviews independent horror filmmakers, up and comers, and especially if you're interested in filmmaking, you get a ton of advice on how to find resources and what to watch out for, and the scams, and then this and that. It was hard. It was hard to talk about myself for an hour, but it's part of the game, and I don't know. It was a fun time. I appreciate it.
It was an enlightening conversation. Yes. Yeah, it was definitely. I definitely recommend checking it out if you're into indie film at all. And they definitely shaped out some of the pitfalls and a lot of the things that you just wouldn't necessarily think of as you're just viewing independent horror. It was cool. It was cool. And yeah, he does. He's got a great attitude. That dude. That other Travis.
That other Travis. What an attitude he's got. We're going to actually. We'll spotlight Horror Realm for a little bit. We'll add them to our friends here on the YouTube channel. So if you're over there on the Cinema 9 YouTube, youtube.com. Whoa! Every time you go to our YouTube page, whatever video is firing up, it's going to open with that in your face.
I went on it today and was blown away by the fact that our episode of The Island has like consistently more views than like major blockbuster successes.
Yeah, isn't that classic, man? Yeah, because it's
guns.
Yeah, Reality Bites can't crack 100 views yet, and High Fidelity, no one cares after 2 weeks, 38 views. What? Come on, you guys love that movie, people out there. Come on,
but The Island, people are on it.
Island.
Again, like usual, I assume they think they're going to get the real movie and are disappointed that it's just like us.
Yeah.
Oh, these fucking guys.
Oh,
they got me with the Burbs.
Yeah, they did. They definitely did. This isn't accurate because there was a time we used to do live shows, but our most popular videos, those don't count the lives because I think, wasn't it American Gangster had like 6,000 views or something? Yeah. People just keep watching that thing, I guess. But non-live, our highest grossing video to date is Universal Soldier. People are fired up about Universal Soldier.
All right. Forgot we did that one.
Yeah, it's got 1,300 views 7 months ago, and yeah, that's double Leon the Professional, which only has 600. So.
Poor Leon.
What a poor Leon. All right, so having said that, we always do the quarantine viewing picks, which is what we've been watching lately. Recommendations, suggestions, maybe latest and greatest denials of current stuff. You never know, Travis, what you're gonna get.
I didn't watch a lot, but it was a notable week. I sat down with our good friends Corey and Christian, neither of whom were at the Feast, our yearly event last year. So neither one of them had ever seen Street Trash. It came up in conversation.
You couldn't just wait till the Feast. Come on.
What do you mean? We're going to watch it again?
Of course we are. I absolutely thought we were.
Got a case of Viper ready to go.
If you got a case of Viper, do not bring it to the Feast.
Oh,
it didn't even occur to me that we'd watch it again. So we watched it. We watched it, the three of us, and they definitely got a kick out of it. But you're right. Maybe I guess I should have waited. It didn't even occur to me that we would do it again.
That's funny. It didn't even occur to you. I'm surprised.
You're right. We watch Mandy almost every year, but like Street Trash.
A lot of repeats.
I guess I didn't realize it was an instant classic for us, but.
But you did.
They'll get it again. They'll get it again.
Okay, good, great. They loved it.
I mean, they were just like, yeah, they were baffled. They loved it. They loved it. But they were just like, it was super late. It'd been a long night of partying. Like we threw it on like at midnight, 12:30 something. So we were like,
that's a long night of partying, midnight.
Well, yeah, we were old guys.
Things have changed.
We start like at 5 o'clock now. You know, we get together like at 5 o'clock and let's get started then. You know,
Eric doesn't like it. Well, sorry, Eric.
I'm like, you guys get together? Forget about it. We too old for that.
I see those guys almost every
5
weekend.
o'clock.
Yeah, we get together.
He's
we'll
on
have
fire.
dinner, and then me and Christian will drink. And
is that a drum of
smoke
toxic
reefers.
waste, Mike?
Oh yeah. Look at this, dude! Look, I've set a new bar. Look at
looks
this
like
thing.
a goddamn fire hydrant.
I know. This is my
Throw it
head.
into the
This is my
sandcrawler.
head. Yeah, this is the microphone.
It's
It
twice
blo-
the size of your head.
It is. You know how heavy this thing is when you fill it up? It's a gallon. It
know
literally
that's
weighs like
absurd.
20 pounds.
That is absurdly
Oh.
big.
Oh, this is all time. Leanne got it for me as a birthday gift. She's like, let's cut the shit. Let's get the ultimate stupid one of all time. It's also really nice, but this is like Eric Allen back in the day when he used to have his mug. Like, he would love this. I think he would. So
I mean, it literally looks like it's
X-wing and blow up the Death Star.
it looks like a torpedo. You're right. Like they're loading up a torpedo in the movie Greyhound that Tom Hanks was in. Yeah, you're right.
It's enormous. We've talked, or maybe I've just thought about for a long time bringing onto the show the 1994 film Blown Away with Jeff Bridges and Tommy Lee Jones and it was Joshua Tree features heavily in the film by U2.
Yeah.
I'm glad I didn't bring it to the show. There would not have been a lot to talk about. It doesn't really hold up. Not great. And that was like such a big hit, but there's a reason why no one ever talks about it anymore. You know,
We have talked. It's come up on the show quite a few times, actually. If you look back in the history, and as a joke, yes.
Just a pair of ragged claws.
there's the new Sopranos documentary, Wise Guy, David Chase and the Sopranos. You know, this is it's great this thing exists because David Chase has not done anything deep dive like this documentary wise, and it's from the same guy that did Enron, Smartest Guys in the Room, and a bunch of other kind of big stuff. He's pretty well known. I can't think of his name right now, but we're talking about The Sopranos, the 7-season epic show, and they got 2 hour long, like hour and 10 minute long episodes, and it's just not enough. It's just not enough. It's cool. I mean, if you're a Sopranos fan, you're gonna watch it, you're gonna like it, and you're gonna probably walk away being like, man, I wish there was more. And me personally, I wish that there was more. There's a good amount of behind the scenes footage and stuff, but like, I'm watching this thing, I'm like, I've got 2.5 hours with you. Quit showing me clips from the show I've seen 500 times. Like, I've seen this shit. And they're showing like the most brutal clips. They show the fucking rape scene of Melfi.
Yeah.
Like, why are you showing this whole scene in the middle of the documentary? Like, it's hard enough to watch in context.
You got spoiled by RoboDoc.
I know.
Yeah, you did. You definitely
totally
did.
It occurred to me.
I've been told from sources that David Chase held back. It seemed like he held back even when he was trying to do a documentary. There was more he could have said about James Gandolfini, maybe that he decided not to. But like, just go for it. He's fucking dead, man. Who cares?
Like, he couldn't have said
David
anything.
Chase
Just give it all to the audience.
Yeah,
he's not like that. He holds back.
He's not even when they get him to do this, even if that's because also, you know, the dynamic is set up right in the therapy room, right?
Mm-hmm.
Which is interesting.
And so they're let's like a fake Melfi's office, and he's clearly he's verbally uncomfortable through much of it. Like, I don't like doing this. I don't like talking about myself. I don't like doing. I thought this was going to be about the Sopranos, not me. That kind of stuff.
I can't wait to watch it, but it's got to be second to RoboDoc, which is still first. For me, so.
Absolutely, I would strongly recommend.
Has
RoboDoc.
Homeboy done anything since Sopranos?
Many Saints of Newark?
No, Many Saints of Newark. That's
we
it.
don't talk about
he
that.
did the.
Never Let Go or Never Let You Go.
Yeah.
With
it was about like the
Gandolfini,
60s.
Yeah, it was like a 60s rock thing.
I heard a lot of. I've never seen it. You know, Sopranos does have a lot of pop culture 60s stuff too in the show. Yeah. So I'd like to watch that. Maybe we should bring that to the show. I don't know.
I saw it once. I'd stand to watch it again.
See.
The great Jeremy Saulnier has returned to Netflix with Rebel Ridge.
I've heard.
And get on it. It is really good.
I heard this dude who stars in it is a badass.
Aaron Pierce is going to be a big star. I've seen him in a thing or two before, but didn't even recognize him until I looked at his IMDb. But this dude is awesome in this movie, and this is on par with. It's up there. It's very much more like Blue Ruin and Green Room. It's a very like.
Not Rambo.
Like, there's definitely some Rambo going on here.
Okay. First Blood.
Definitely some fucking First Blood. Good Rambo. There's definitely some First Blood going on here. But man, it is a lot of fun. I strongly recommend it. Yeah, it's not that original, but it's fun to watch. It is good.
I heard Don Johnson's crushing it too. I got to see this.
Dude, Don Johnson's fucking awesome in it.
Oh my God.
Yeah, he's so good in it. This Aaron Pierce guy everyone's good in it.
He's a great villain. Don Johnson is a great villain.
It's got Emery Cohen in it, who we talked about on Place Between the Pines, who hadn't seen him in a while. He's a really good young actor. He's not that young anymore. He's got gray hair now. But definitely check out Rebel Ridge. It's on Netflix. And then lastly, my big recommendation, my last other big recommendation. It's funny that I was sitting down when I would have been watching our weekly movie, but we ended up pushing it back. So I was like right about to sit down and watch this movie that we're watching today, Swimming with Sharks, and then like learned that we weren't going to do it yet. So I'm like, okay, so now I've got like this 2-hour block of time that I was going to sit down and watch a movie. What should I watch? And then Eric, you text us and let us know that the great James Earl Jones passed away at 93, right?
Mm-hmm.
So I'm like, well, he's a legend. I'd never seen his first starring film. Let's see where he got his start. So I look up The Great White Hope. You're already laughing because you're thinking of fucking goofy shit from later. I'm not talking about his goofy shit.
I'm thinking of this. I'm just laughing, drinking.
You're laughing at your Sorry. So he won a Tony for a play called The Great White Hope, where he basically played Jack Johnson.
The boxer.
Yes, the boxer. They changed his name to Jack.
Not
Jefferson,
the shitty recording artist.
No,
that's why I say that.
The historically really important boxer, Jack Johnson. And so it is a very young. He won a Tony for that, and then went straight from that to filming the movie. The only thing he'd done really on film before that was Dr. Strangelove. So this is his first thing, and dude, he is young, he is ripped, and he is like grinning ear to ear with malice as crowds of white people yell the N-word at him. It is, racially speaking, is one of the most complex movies I've ever seen. It is so fucking good. His performance. I got goosebumps thinking about the dude's performance. He was incredible in it.
Better than Ricochet?
Everything's better than Ricochet. It's not a perfect movie by any means, and you can only find it on YouTube right now, but holy shit, if you got any affection for James Earl Jones, check out The Great White Hope.
Fucking Jedge.
It's awesome. It's really good.
He's got some stupid ass name too when he just plays that pilot in Doctor Strangelove. It's like some goofy name he's got too. It's a minor detail, but that's great. I'll look into that for sure.
It's cool. That's it.
Also, I was laughing because I just got I was reading your text. You get in a car, you drive west. So funny. Brian Cox, shout out to 25th Hour. Never get old. If you missed 25th Hour episode.
Head West reference on our text there.
It really was Head West. I was doing Head West for sure. You're right. That's literally what was happening.
Yes. Yeah. He was detailing every event that he was doing as he was gearing up to record. So I threw out you're going to head west.
Listen, man, funny. I bought Long Legs for $25 because I wanted Angela to see it. It's my third time watching it. And I was in a great position to be like, all right, what's the final word here? I'm you know me, I flip flop, I get really pumped up, and then I fear that I made a mistake. After 3 rounds, we got a pretty good movie here. We got a pretty good movie here. It's pretty good.
Glowing praise for you.
Yeah, that's for me. That's glowing praise. Then I went to this site Goku, where you can like watch movies that are like still in theaters. for years I would never do this, but like finally I was like, fuck it, man. I worked my ass off my whole life. I'm going to this website to watch movies that are in theaters because I can't even get to the theater. I watched like 15 minutes of this new Beetlejuice movie.
Uh-oh. What?
I don't know what to say right now. I mean, I turned it off because like I realized I'm watching it on a phone. It's like 1 a.m. and I'm like, this is Beetlejuice 2 here, for fucking Christ's sake. I can't do this way.
Yeah, don't do that.
I can't do it this
Turn
way.
it
I
off.
have to turn it off. Yeah. I have to respect myself.
Good man.
Was I liking what
And
I was
Beetlejuice.
seeing? I don't know. Something was off. Something was off. Something was off. I don't know if you guys are heading to the theater, but something was off.
My father-in-law and sister-in-law saw it tonight. I got to get a full report. So.
Something was off. Other than that, are you kidding me, dude? It's just been straight Sopranos, man. Last night, I sent you that picture of myself just crying. This show, I mean, like, God, this character of Tony, like, David Chase is incredible. He's incredible, man.
Yeah.
And correct me if I'm wrong, but does Wise Guy get into the fact that Jimmy wanted out of this role? Like, he wanted off this show?
Yes, very much.
Yep.
Why?
Because of
Complicated.
I mean, it's complicated, but in short, he pushed himself further than he needed to, and lived in that feeling that, I mean, like what you see him portraying.
Like I was talking about when I just watched it and I was snapping at my wife. Like, he was becoming Tony?
He was feeling that. Yeah, I mean, that's what he's living in. So I mean, it's just like, it's bad for your blood pressure. You know, I mean,
Our show's important, but please never put your wife second to the show ever, please. Okay? Sorry, Angela. That's Eric's fault. We didn't ask him to do that. We don't want him to do that. Let's be clear.
Man, that episode I watched last night when he finds out that Peter Reichert is hooked up with Arena.
Oh, he's pissed.
In the skylights, and he's like,
She's
you know
beautiful.
what? Fuck
What a
that
beautiful
guy.
lady.
He goes over there and beats the shit out of it.
With a belt.
with a
Oh
belt.
my God,
Like
the
a
emotion.
pussy beating. Like a,
Yeah, just
wild.
absolutely emasculates him and just kills. I mean, yeah, that show is.
How do you act that? Like, the emotion in his face, it's, oh my God, it was so fucking powerful and brutal, but like, that's what Tony is brutal, but like, you like him, and like, he just seems like a real I don't know. It's so fucking good.
It is.
Yeah, I can't get enough. As soon as this shit is done, I'm gonna gobble up as many episodes as I can tonight. I cannot wait. It's so good. What else?
This
was I gonna
shit
say?
being our podcast.
I'm sorry, but I got to get back to the show.
Continue.
What else?
You interrupted? Oh, we're interrupting the Sopranos viewing. I'm sorry.
Yep. Sorry.
I'm sorry.
about
You
that.
guys know damn well once you get on a kick of Sopranos, it consumes every thought, every single thought.
Quit my job. Stop being a father. Yep, that makes sense. I'm with you.
I don't even know where.
Sometimes
my
I
kids
go
are.
about in pity for myself, all along.
So
Great
good.
wind
Oh,
carries.
that's what I wanted to say. The music. Every time I watch an episode, I'm hearing these incredible songs I've never heard of in my life, and I'm googling, and what is this? Like, who's the music supervisor here?
I don't know, but the Christopher Moltisanti Carnival Heroin Relapse episode has this song by Fred Neil that, like, I've seen this show a million times, and then like 2 times ago when I binged it, I'm like, this is the best song I've ever heard. I became like a huge Fred Neil fan.
Yes.
Bought that album on vinyl, and
Yes.
I fucking listen to it all the time. It's like
Yes.
you're right. There's some really good nuggets in
This
there. To
deep
dig out.
cut Keith Richards song where he sings. It's fucking
Oh,
amazing.
yeah,
up this
Oh my God, it's so good.
morning.
yeah, that Keith Richards song is really good.
But yeah, man.
up this morning.
Yeah, that song's
Start
not
doing
great.
that.
Husband is like,
No, it's
why is this
terrible.
the theme song? Why did they pick this?
Because they forced him to. He didn't want to have like that, but they're like, God, you got to have like an opener
HBO.
to set this up. Yeah.
Yeah.
So a lot of good stuff about HBO in that doc too. About their back. We kind of fast forwarded today where we didn't just get here. Like that show was a huge part of kind of getting to where we are, I guess, in entertainment world today too, to a certain
Yeah,
extent.
the documentary, like, I'm surprised that like they trash talk HBO so much in it. And
Yeah,
HBO's like, yep,
you
put
love
this
that.
out there. Yeah.
They're all gone now. Yeah, they're probably all gone.
God, it's so good. And then when Gloria dies, just that look on Jimmy's face.
Okay,
I
enough
can't
Gloria.
take it. Yeah,
All right,
enough.
yep.
Enough. I'm sorry.
Okay.
Like, yeah, before.
A more
You haven't even mentioned Joe Pantoliano once yet. Come on, dude.
Great.
He was great in Bingo. That's a classic underrated film. Might be coming to the show, believe it or not. Bingo. Oh yeah, 1991. Get ready. Could happen.
Mamba. Come on, look at me. My last
Bingo.
name's Coon.
Oh, that was a dog movie, right?
It was a dog movie. That's right. Bingo.
My
the
mind
dog.
was like, "There's a movie about bingo, like the game. Like that's weird."
Oh, there's a great Curb Your Enthusiasm episode about bingo, but I'm really jealous because Travis has on his Cinema 9 podcast shirt. I love that shirt, and it's been killing me. I cannot find mine. I loved it so much. It's it's understated, but it's great. It just says it all.
Can people buy them themselves? Can we buy more? I thought we had.
Oh yeah, all we gotta do is just run a bunch of copies, and we never. I've another failure in life. Whatever, chalk it up. But we're not giving up.
We're busy.
We're not giving up. We're not giving
Sticker
up.
Mule. I got them from Sticker Mule. We've got a huge controversy with Sticker Mule right now.
There's other places
Yeah.
we can go.
We got a Leanne. I said Leanne's got a cousin here at a warehouse over on the east side of Detroit, and he's really cheap and he does really good work. And I ran shirts with him on one of my podcasts in 2020. Just never went back to the well. Way overdue. So let's do it. Let's party.
He texted
Albert.
me a few weeks ago out of the blue. I'm like, I should get Mike one of those shirts. Oh, I got a text. Are you still voting for Trump?
Sticker Mule, damn you! Yeah, I had the Sticker Mule sticker on my refrigerator. Then I was like, yeah, I can throw this away.
Oh,
Michael?
nothing. I watched the movie that we were supposed to watch on Monday. So
You didn't
I
watch
was
that
ahead of-
boy band scam doc on Netflix?
No. Oh yeah. Lou Pearlman. Yeah. Lou Pearlman. Misunderstood. Maybe not a pedophile. I don't think it's clear. I'm serious. I don't like to stick up for people who may be pedophiles at all, but I don't like when people get labeled one unfairly. If they're asexual and weird,
about
okay,
that
that's one
tonight.
thing.
We saw Ricochet. People getting painted as a pedophile. Who was it?
That was terrible. Yeah, that poor guy. I feel terrible for that guy. I love that guy too. Whenever he's in something,
He's a good actor.
Yeah.
I like him.
he's been in 2 of our movies at least, Boys in the Hood and Ricochet. So.
right.
Also, both those movies were in 1991, so that's kind of weird. Again, wow, weird.
Busy year for that guy.
Yeah,
Did you watch anything
there
else?
was. I got all these laser discs here, of course. You know, if everybody wants to see the laser disc collection, there it is in all its
there it
glory.
They're beautiful.
Look at all those. Yeah,
It's like vinyl.
Nice.
Like you have a bunch
Yeah.
of records there.
I know, right? We got it's tough to see on the back end here. We got the Presidio on the back end here. You can,
You sticking with that pink color over there in the living room?
it's not pink. I'm telling you, it's blue. That's weird.
What?
It's like
Yeah,
teal.
right?
Nice shale.
I know. It's like a very light blue. So.
It looks like green.
Anyways,
to me.
okay, so here's a quick rundown if you can't see. The top shelf on the back is Color of Night, Bruce Willis's dong.
The movie.
The movie. And then
Could you move your water bottle?
Oh yeah, right, sure. Sorry about that.
Oh, we see.
And then the second level, I've never seen this movie. Strange Days, Ray Fiennes.
Oh yeah, brutal beginning. Like
Ooh.
first person POV of someone committing suicide.
Oh
That's how the
shit.
movie
Okay.
starts. Hardcore.
I never saw it. I might pop it in one day. And then the Presidio, like I said, on the third level. Now that's Jack Warden gets brutally gunned down with like 80 squibs in that movie. It's awesome. Him and Sean Connery. And then the bottom one, shit. Oh, that's Sabrina, the remake, 1996. Greg Kinnear, Harrison Ford. Whatever, I never saw it. Not going to watch it, I don't think so. But I also have the original with Humphrey Bogart. So, I don't know. Maybe I'll watch that. Audrey Hepburn.
Beautiful.
Okay. Yeah, I've heard good things. So, yeah, there you go. I want to watch more of these. They're dead tech. Fucking dead tech, but, you know,
Bullshit.
that's right.
Invite Xander Berkeley over to your
lay
house.
around.
Beat his ass.
Xander Berkeley. All right, well, let's get into it. It's time to focus in on today's main choice, prime USDA cut meat.
Yeah,
is
get
that
your
good?
cute little
Angus
butt
beef?
in here. Get your cute little butt in here swimming with sharks.
Oh my
up,
God,
listen
cute
and
little
learn.
butt.
Fine.
Cute, yep. Cute little butt, nonstop. Swimming with Sharks, 1994.
Yep.
Kevin Spacey, Frank Whaley from many projects like The Doors and, of course, Career Opportunities. Many Frank Whaley classics
my
out there.
God.
Yeah.
Oh, here we go. Yeah, Eric's having a moment here. Go ahead,
Hold
take
on,
it in.
I need a moment. Just keep going.
Sorry.
my God.
Yeah,
what a
so
beautiful woman.
Travis, you chose this film. Boy,
not a woman.
This film, he's not a woman. There was a serious dedication to this film. There's no doubt about it.
Lordy,
When we
Lordy.
were young.
Our group of friends, like, we wore this the fuck out. I don't remember the first time I watched it, but I remember seeing the preview for it, like on Vidmark Entertainment Movie or some shit, and renting it like pretty much right away because it was 94, maybe 95. And by that point, I was aware marginally of Kevin Spacey from The Ref, Usual Suspects and Seven. So I'm like, okay, this guy's great. And then I knew who Frank
Glengarry.
Whaley was. I don't even know if I'd seen Glengarry at that point.
Oh, interesting. That's fun.
Maybe a year or two later. And then Frank Whaley, I loved in Career Opportunities. I hate JFK, but I always liked Frank Whaley in that. So I was like, I'll check this out. And it was one that like
Frank Whaley.
I watched it and I just recorded it, because I had 2 VCRs, and I'm like, yeah, this is it. This is my new movie. And I must have watched that movie a million times. Watching it last night, I could like recite it still like a fucking song, but I hadn't seen it in probably 20 years.
Mike, I used to watch this every day.
Really?
Every day I would watch it. For 3 years straight, I watched this every day. So that's about 800 viewings. Wow. But it's been this is a perfect candidate for the show. I mean, this is textbook Cinema 9 podcast. It's been like 15 years. When I put it in last night, it was like, I mean, come on now. It was like looking at the photo album at my mom's house. It was a warm pair of pajamas. It's been a hell of a long time, and things have changed. There's no goddamn doubt about it.
You know what's interesting is I don't want to disrespect you, Eric, but I just don't associate you with this movie at all, which is not fair to you at all. I just remember watching this with Travis. I definitely watched this for the first time with Travis, without a doubt.
But we're talking about
like,
yeah, but you're thinking like late high school. When were you ever over at Eric's house in late high school to watch movies?
Well, I wasn't.
No one was. No. Not a single soul.
No, that's true. That's
so
right.
That's why you wouldn't associate.
So that makes sense.
Right.
Well, it does make sense. I'm not saying it doesn't make sense. I just know that you and me and Steve Guile watch this together a lot. That's how I recall it. And it was in one of our bands that we liked in high school, The Clip. Because there are no storybook heroes. The Ataris, right?
What? No, let's talk about feelings.
Let's talk about feelings.
Oh, it is. Oh, the Ataris is Chaz Palminteri from that one.
Roxdale.
Yeah, my bad. Those are the two I remember most from high school. Anyways, I'll tell you what, man. I hadn't seen this movie in a long time. It's really been a minute, just like you, Travis. And Eric, you said it's been a while? Yes?
Yeah, Mike. It's been a while.
So,
I'm sorry,
but immediately...
This is Eric life-affirming Branstrom you're talking about here. And you doubt
okay. I'm not trying to disrespect you. Yeah. You don't worry. Your credentials with this film are locked and key. Don't worry. Okay?
I've been watching a lot of Sopranos. I'm just saying, you don't want to fuck with it.
Well, I got this. Watch out. This thing is a real weapon. So there is a time and place where this movie was just nonstop. I could say every line of it, just like you said, Travis. They all were right there. I could just start doing all the Benicio lines and every Frank Whaley's innocence. And yeah, well, there's no doubt this movie is a part of me, even if I don't want it to be anymore, which I'm not sure that's the case yet. I'm just saying if it was. So.
Tilting his hand.
A little bit of the tilting of the hand. But in this case, as we do for every episode on Cinema 9, we like to guess the IMDb score. Now, this is a film from 1994, and it has Kevin Spacey, who now is not appreciated like maybe he was, I don't know, if it was like 2003 or 2013 even.
So right about till 2016 or so.
Yeah, House of Cards. Yeah. Apropos name. How about that? So.
Yep, it all fell apart.
Yeah. So what are you thinking here?
I think that I want to write a strongly worded letter to the Roku people about not putting the IMDb score directly next to the title. They changed something recently. So literally the way that they do it now is if you look something up, you read the name and then you see the IMDb score immediately. So I know what it is.
So you're going to be like, hey, co-host.
Wait.
Predict the IMDb score, if you wouldn't mind.
Is there a way you could change this for me?
Did you guys... A television remake?
Huh? No, that's I don't think it's related to. I don't think it's a remake.
Listen to this. A young female assistant who is at the center of a studio filled with manipulators, schemers, and intrigue. Little do they know she is poised to outwit all of them. This has Diane Kruger starring. Swimming with Sharks on Roku Originals.
Diane Kruger must be the buddy character.
Yeah.
I had no. I knew that there was a TV show called Swimming with Sharks. I had no idea it was based on Swimming with Sharks.
This is breaking news to me. That's why I wanted to share if anybody knew, just to throw it out there because I'm seeing it on IMDb. But okay, yes, you're right. That's not cool, Roku. Disrespectful. But the rating, Eric, do you have an idea? Anybody? Travis?
I know it.
Travis knows it.
Know it.
I'm gonna say.
That's right. He knows it.
I'm gonna say like healthy 6.6.
This is really hard, and I say that a lot. I mean, these can be challenging, but this one, it's like two worlds. This movie like lives in two worlds. Now it doesn't. Maybe I'm gonna say it's a 7.1. I am gonna say 7.1. Travis, am I right at all?
You were closer.
Oh,
7.0, right? Or is it 7.7?
Oh.
What is it?
7.7. You're right. Yep.
Yeah, 7.0.
7.0.
I saw like 2 back to back because I was like considering another movie. So, 7.0. There you go.
I gotta say, a little surprising, but I'm also really excited to see how critics reviewed this back in the day because where we are now, and we'll talk more about this and with the Harvey Weinstein shit and the Me Too movement, which a lot of it came out of Hollywood, of course. This movie has a lot to do with that. For sure. 76 from the critics, 76%, 79 from the audience. A very tight score overall. Mm-hmm. As far as critical reviews, Once Upon a Time, recencies, we can go old school, new school. We can take it back to 2000s. Let's see. How about, a lot of people giving ratings but not words. Oh, here we go. Liam Lacey of the Globe and Mail. This was back in 2002, so this is 22 years ago. This excessively talky, incoherently plotted would-be film noir is not very good.
Oh,
not really pulling any punches there, huh?
Not very good makes me laugh because it's just like such an imprecise critique.
Not very good, yeah.
But it's the kind of critique I would make. All right, Ebes. Let's hear Ebes.
Huang's, in brackets, Huang's plot may be overwritten and the ending may be less than satisfying, but his eye and ear are right. Now, this is back in the day. This was in the 90s. So.
Right.
Peter Rayner of the LA Times in 2001 said, to outsiders, all this rage and gnashing of teeth may seem silly and self-absorbed. Period.
No, but he knows better because he's from the industry. Don't say industry.
Janet Maslin of New York Times in May of 2003 said, Mr. Spacey's Buddy is a caricature so dazzling that even Buddy might have to say something nice about it. Cool, withering, studiously suave, and spurred by impulses that might seem peevish, even in a 2-year-old child. Peevish. That's a new one. I don't think we've ever heard peevish in a review. I don't believe we have, honestly.
Cinema 9 first.
Cinema 9 first.
All right.
I think that's pretty much,
Yeah, we're good. Let's move on.
That's it. There's not a lot of great ones here. There's Destin. I would love to get Destin Thompson on this. If you want a Bonner take, Emmanuel Levy, despite some sharp dialogue, this is a nasty derivative film, sort of a cross between Tarantino's Reservoir Dogs and Altman's The Player.
There it is.
I definitely see The Player, but Reservoir Dogs seems like a stretch. I mean, there's a strap someone to a chair and torture them, but that's thin.
I totally wrote The Player down in my notes because it's a compare and contrast, right?
We did The Player on the show. We did a deep dive. If The Player didn't occur to the three of us, I'd be surprised. But it honestly didn't really occur to me until we just started talking about it just now. So there you go.
Oh,
I'm not surprised. Okay. Like, it makes sense, but I just wasn't thinking about it.
I guess about the inner workings specifically, right? Maybe not the plot about the murderer and all that shit. But
yeah, I mean, I thought of it in the sense that I think, generally, because it's a whole genre of film, Hollywood movies about Hollywood. There's a bunch of movies that are set in Hollywood, so that there's only so many.
Their favorite topic. Zing! Eric, I feel like, come on, hit us, Eric. Come on, get pissed, get fired up. Come on, let's hear it. Don't hold back
So
now.
close.
I know it's been a long history
score.
here.
Awful score. After
Oh,
school
I love
special
it. It's
score.
classic. It's
I still like this score. No,
that piano, that reverbed out piano, it's
I
classic.
still like it.
Cheesy
I still
and
like
dumb.
that score.
Bad.
I did too. Yeah,
I still
we're
like it.
weirdos. Whatever.
It very much it sounds like a dude and his keyboard in a closet. This was probably not
Casio.
very highly polished project, but I think it works. I still like it.
Few Good Men has a similar,
Yeah.
like a piano. You know what I'm talking about? Doo-doo-doo-doo-doo. Yep. I liked it. Sorry, and I know it's not good though. I'm saying that.
Terrible.
Well, if we liked it, isn't it kind of good then?
Well, this is the age-old question on this show. Here we go.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, come on, Eric, hit us again.
Who the fuck is George Huang?
The
Yeah,
guy that
who
did
is
Swimming with
George?
Sharks. I looked at his Wikipedia. He's known for Swimming with Sharks. That's about it.
And
Is there something else?
And Hard Target
No, I-
2, which he wrote a few years ago.
oh, Hard Target.
Hard
He did.
Target
He produced
2.
SWAT.
Oh my god! Yikes!
He was additional crew on Machete.
Oh yeah, I saw that he
Additional
does
crew.
stuff with Robert Rodriguez.
Yeah.
Additional crew.
Yeah. So it definitely
One more.
it
Trojan
seems-
War. I just want to mention Trojan War from 1997. He did direct that.
Oh,
that is a
God.
stupid movie about kids. It's not a terrible
Yeah.
movie. I'm just
I
saying.
didn't.
So.
I never saw it, but
Love
it didn't
you.
look good. It definitely. I mean, like the movie feels like someone working out some issues. It feels like somebody who had that job and just sat around fantasizing all day about what he would do to his boss.
Well, he's fantasizing about what he would do to Joel Silver.
Yeah.
according to
Yay!
IMDb trivia.
Yeah.
Here we
that's
go.
Not a surprise.
Lay it out for people, Eric. Can you lay it out a little bit for people that don't know? as well?
Megamaniacal action superstar producer of the late '80s. Every big block, but Lethal Weapon. This is the slick guy, blowing mountains of coke, screaming at people, blood and guts. It's the fucking Saul Rubinek from True Romance incarnate.
He's not. So he's not John Peters, though, right?
It's worse.
Their
Works,
balls
okay.
should tremble. Their ears should bleed. He's that
Yeah.
fucking guy. Turn
It's
up
so-
the volume.
Yeah, being older now, like being such a seasoned movie pro now, which I am. I'm a seasoned movie pro. I feel confident in saying that. I have a lot of doubts in my life. I don't have any doubts about that. But in this case, being older now and having that perspective and seeing this, okay, there's the Stella Camp who does artsy, like the Sisterhood of the Traveling Pants movies, I guess, at that time. And then you got Buddy with his Die Hard, Broken Arrow was probably on his list. They were about to go into production on that soon. The total blowout action doofus movies that rake in the cash versus, as he says,
Yeah. He said
no
that
money
his-
made by the other movies.
Yeah, he said his movie made 180 mil last year.
Yeah,
which at that time,
1994.
That would have been close to
Oh, yeah.
400 million in today's time, which that would make it one of the top. Like not quite Inside Out 2 or Deadpool and Wolverine status, but right below those for 2024.
Yep, you're right. Sure, no doubt about it. Yeah, and I just think about that now, and where Hollywood has gone since the movie came out. I mean, 30 year anniversary, right? So
Yeah.
Wow.
it's a different world now where the movie theater isn't
It's
as
a different world.
where you come from.
Wonderful.
We don't go to the theater. The silver screen is not as important as it was 30 years ago. We got streaming. It's just a different thing. And that means the movies that maybe were made by Stella's camp today might be streamers and like indie projects that go on YouTube even now. I just think about that. I'm looking at where movies have been and where they are now. And this movie is about movies. So it made me think about that.
I just got so many fucking. I haven't had this many notes in a long time. But like,
Oh, really?
one of my first notes is like, why did we love it so much? Why did we love it so much? I'm not
Okay.
saying I don't still love it. I'm just saying, why did we love
Great
it so
question.
much?
That
What
is a
hooked
great
us?
question.
This is obvious.
I asked myself the same question. Go ahead, Mike, if it's obvious. Go
No,
ahead.
you can go first. No, please. I don't want to. I'm
Okay,
just saying
well-
it's obvious to me.
It's not as obvious to me, but I think I know and I think I'm ashamed. There's definitely been times in my life where I've thrown out, who do you work for?
Yes. Still hits.
Yep.
Still hits. Still a
So
good
funny.
one. Still very funny. But like in short, now I look at Buddy, I'm like, this guy's an abusive, awful prick. And back then when I watched the movie, I thought this guy's a prick, and he's funny. And I focused on those things. I didn't really register the abuse. And I also, for what it's worth, did not fully appreciate exactly what Guy is doing here. Like, Guy is a terrible fucking human being.
He's a piece of shit.
He's a piece
I wrote
of
it down.
fucking shit.
He's a piece of
douchebag.
shit.
A douchebag of the highest order. I wrote it down.
He sucks. And I just
Manipulative.
Fuck.
But I was like, protagonist blind. You know what I mean?
Yeah. Well,
So
we were younger than Guy, Mike, right?
Yes.
I mean,
we were
significantly
teenagers.
younger than Guy.
Teenagers.
We were anticipating this role in the workforce. We couldn't anticipate maybe at that point a boss this significantly fucking awful, but we were heading towards a safe space. This is Safe Space, the movie. We were heading towards a place where we were not going to be challenged about our emotional output and what we thought was right or wrong. We were ready to take on authority. I mean, you guys were fucking into punk rock like animals. Like, this is like a punk rocker that takes off his black t-shirt and puts on his suit and tie and goes out in the workforce and is fucking pissed.
And you're right.
Okay,
You and I definitely, and I know, Mike, you wanted to get into entertainment too. So we all had like this mindset that we were going to like be in a similar field.
Change the world.
Well, Travis, let's just be brutally honest. Do you remember the conversation you and I had when I was staying at your house and I said, you and I are going to be the famous ones? That happened.
God.
It totally happened. It's not something that you want to remember, but I remember.
No, I wish I didn't remember that conversation. I was about to be like you and me. I remember it, but I do remember like feeling that way. That like, not.
It wasn't a joke.
I felt like our whole friends group, but like maybe myself in particular, fucking myopic.
That's why.
But, I felt like we were like this great wealth of talent, and I still think that we were. I went to the.
Mongoose was a great script. Come on now.
Thanks, buddy.
Sell yourself short.
I'm going to make a really uneven comparison right now, because we are not up there with, say, Berry Gordy and the fucking Temptations and like all of Motown. But I went to the Motown Museum recently, and I learned that like Berry Gordy, like, most of the Four Tops, all these people were his fucking neighbors. Diana Ross, like, these people were his fucking neighbors. They were like a stone's throw away. They were his friends.
They're all from Detroit,
basically. And they were like right there. And like, it made me think, like, how many times has there been like groups of people, maybe not at that caliber of talent, but groups of people that like come together and have like this great talent that doesn't pop off, doesn't get tapped.
Well, okay, so two things here. So to go back, the reason it's obvious why I liked this movie a lot more back then is because we were teenagers, and it's extremely quotable, and we don't have as much empathy yet. We're learning to be people, and if something's funny, it doesn't matter. Oh, that's hilarious! And we're all jumping in and laughing about it. There honestly is a male. I think there is a teenage male aspect of this film that gets them going, got me going, got us going. We're like, oh dude, that's so funny. That was totally happening. So I'm going to admit that part on my end. But then this talent part you're talking about, yes, there's a lot of talent in our group of friends. There's no doubt about it. Eric's still making movies now. He's
talent.
But this is the point.
Circumstance.
Let me make the point. Yes, that's what I'm saying. There's a lot. Look at Broken Lizard, for example. This is a group of friends who they pushed it. Now, there's some I love Broken Lizard, and I think most of the movies are hilarious, but they also were ambitious, and they stayed organized, and they stayed on track. There's all this talent. And when you're in your 40s, to me, it's clear. There's talent all over the world, but the difference is desire, lack of obstacles, mental health stuff,
connections,
things, a fear, connections, dedication, being willing to take rejection. All of these variables come into play if you're going to try to push in. Now, it's never been easier because we have access to the internet, and you can be seen a lot easier than you could 30 years ago. That's definitely changed, but those things all matter too. So that's how I saw this. I still chuckled at a few things in this movie today, and when I watched it, I did. But it's not as funny as it was 30 years ago.
There's a prominence on ambition in this film, Mike. That's why, Travis, I heard you loud and clear in the text thread. What do you want the movie? I mean, this movie is all about like your drive and your ambition and trying to focus on what you want in life. And the big question that you learn when you get older isn't what you want. It's how hard you're willing to work for what you want. And getting what you want takes a lot of fucking work. And most of my notes on this film are based on how snoveling and unappreciative and maybe just unprepared and immature Guy is about his situation. I'm sorry.
Yes.
Yeah.
Benicio, too. Comparing to Benicio's character, we only get a brief kind of intro with him, but he stuck it out.
Yeah, but Buddy is abusive and he is terrible, but he doesn't deserve what happens to him. Like he doesn't.
No.
Like he's like, and again, like no one should treat anyone like this in the workplace. It's completely inappropriate, et cetera, et cetera. But but at the same time, like, dude, like you signed up for this. You could quit this job anytime
He's not
you
even
want
an intern. He works there.
But so this movie is really about, like, you know, it's an extreme look at which road will you choose? Will you choose love and a family and all that shit? Or will you choose like the dream, even if the dream means being married to your job, or, you know, being a killer
or killing your girlfriend,
more or less, well, killing your chance at happiness, I guess. I'm sure. I mean, you know, so
or
murdering someone,
a different happiness. He might be very happy being,
and the police kindly just take your word for it. Like, oh, we're not going to.
Well, when you got Buddy, that's power. That's a guy who's very powerful. His word is so deep in LA at that time. Just like you said last week, how you bought that Denzel wouldn't be believed, or those people wouldn't be believed because of the gravity of the crimes. I buy that. I do buy that part, and that's I want to go into, because I think you're totally right about this. There's actually a point about this movie that says, yeah, you got to work hard. You got to take some shit. You can't just have it handed to you, Guy. Benicio just took shit for a year and accepted it. And there is something to that, but then gets distracted. Everyone's got 1 year.
VP of production at Paramount. Like, I'll do that year. I'll take a year of that.
You lock me in a fucking cell like the man in the iron mask, and I come out and I'm the vice president of Blumhouse. I'm totally fucking happy.
They made it seem like it was a technical college.
I'm in love with still, but I will be very happy.
1 year and you get a technical degree and then you get to be VP of Paramount. That's how it made it seem, which is a little ridiculous in this film. But yeah, because even the other guy says after Guy kills Michelle Forbes, the lovely and talented Michelle Forbes, who was manipulated by Guy the whole movie, even though she's like the seasoned vet producer, he's the freshman, which is weird. I don't know if I buy that writing. I don't know if I buy that writing, actually, because it doesn't really make sense that she would suddenly be so gullible unless she had sold her soul. And the thing I wanted to bring up here, guys, is that we get distracted by this narrative about, hey, maybe you got to take some shit and you got to kind of bust your butt and accept some tough times before you can get what you want. Maybe that's not such a terrible thing in life with character drive, but it gets totally distracted by the fact that Buddy, from the beginning of the movie, is having women fetched for him. And this now, we're where we are with post Me Too and everything that went down in Hollywood over the last 7-8 years. This is like, how come this movie wasn't front and center in the conversation about like Harvey Weinstein in Hollywood? Because this movie is telling you verbatim what was already happening 30 years ago and even longer.
Yeah, well, everyone talked about how that kind of stuff was an open secret with Weinstein at all, right? I mean, like we all kind of accepted it. We accepted about rock stars and movie stars too. We accepted it as a society for a long time. Look at the past Jack Nicholson got. I mean, we accepted it for a long time that if people are famous enough and we like them enough, they can do just about anything, so long as it's to women, pretty much.
Yes.
Usually.
That's what I'm saying, though.
That's how it
the
worked
casting couch was an old bit. Yeah, the casting. We've known about the casting couch forever, but it's not always as nefarious and evil. Like, Buddy's a fun guy when he wants to be fun and charming. He charms the shit out of Guy, and he can charm the shit out of everybody. Cyrus, everyone, and even when he wants to.
Being charming isn't that redeeming of a quality, really.
No, it doesn't mean he's not evil, but he's exploiting his power, which is classic. The old, hey, you know, there's a balance of power here, and he has that woman come in, go fetch that. Yeah, he has all these women fetched for him, and that seems so realistic. That's different than Weinstein, like, forcing himself on women or jacking off in a plant with the weird fucking shit he did. There's a little bit more of an innocence here where it's like, hey, I really think you're hot, so you want to get in the game? It's unsaid, and then it goes down. It's really, I think this movie has that part of it that's fascinating.
There's a very slimy, machismoistic assumption that women are attracted to success and power, like exclusively. And that's said by Buddy, and I think that tries to give the movie a pass about why women are attracted to him, and which downright makes Dawn just seem like an impish slut.
It's written by a guy,
she
right?
Should be someone that we really care about and are rooting for. It's kind of offensive.
Well,
that poor writing sticks out to me now about her character. It does now.
Yeah, and she's incredibly mean for a lot of it too. Like she's just like mean as hell, and then just suddenly decides, actually, I like you so much that not only will I date you, or not only will I fuck you, I will date you. And suddenly she's like dating him. And at first I'm thinking to myself, is she like trying to use him to get close to Buddy? Because she says that she is. Yeah. But pretty soon, like she's taking it to Stella, and she's no longer trying to work with Buddy, but she's still with Guy. So she just
it's all for
Guy. Is it his hair?
Stupid. Doesn't jive at all with character motivations of what she was and where she came from. And also the movie tried to push on us at the end where Spacey's character Buddy goes apeshit about you fucked your way to the top. Hey, he has to claw his way. You fucked your way. You cheated. And they're trying to sell that in 94 is like, this is legitimately bogus. Can you believe she would do that? That's not how it's completely different now. Completely different.
There's a lot of trying to sell things here. There's some, like you said, some of this dialogue is pretty rocky, and the way it's being like sold is sometimes not very convincing. Oh, I don't hate you. I just want you to think about, it's just like, oh man, like,
oh yeah, you hate me because you won't take your project to Buddy instead of Stella. That was so awful.
And I feel it gets more the writing than the acting, and the acting is not good because the writing is not good.
Yeah, you're right. The writing, the character motivations don't make sense because it's written by Huang too, right? He wrote and directed.
Yeah.
Okay. Yep. But what's so funny, Huang?
It's written by Huang.
Yeah, Real Life with Foster Kane. That took me back. I just got to say, God, I used to say that all the time. Real Life with Foster Kane.
Real Life.
Yeah.
That and another one that I've thrown out a million times in my life is shit, fuck, oh piss.
No, I don't know.
Also, when he shoots the lights out, it's so obvious that they're turning the set lights off. I'm like, come on, that always bothered me a long time ago, and I'm just saying that now because I never got to say it on the record. So
somebody hit the dimmer. Look, I got a problem with this main character. Like all my notes are just about fucking Guy. Like, but let's be honest. When we were young, I'll go back again, man. Like we were power hungry. We wanted to be like Guy. You watch this movie, and I'm watching it yesterday. I'm like, Guy emulated Buddy and worshipped him from the start. From the first scene he is in the restaurant with those guys, he wants to be like Buddy. He wants to do everything that Buddy does.
Yeah.
Then the second it affects him in a negative way, he just starts fucking crying about it. Like, I love that speech. I was like on fire even today in 2024 when Kevin Spacey was telling him off, man, about the fucking MTV microwave dinner generation. I was like, you know what?
Disillusionment.
This is great writing. It's still prescient today about the sensitivity issues with the youth, and all of that stuff was out of control. I was digging that part for sure.
Kevin Spacey's canceled, but he crushes it in this movie as an actor. He does. I'm staying that. I don't care what anybody says about me.
I'm going to push back a little bit. I'm going to agree that he crushes it on a lot of the monologues. There's some really great monologues. Like some of the dialogue in this movie is not good, but some of it is awesome. And his delivery, they're stinking long necks. A lot of that stuff.
Shout out Steve Go.
They're stinking long necks. A lot of it is awesome, but the first half, when he's first when he's first learning to be afraid of him, and he's first like getting hurt by him and stuff, like I'm not buying fucking any of it. I'm not buying any of it. I'm not buying the fear. I'm not buying the pain. I'm not buying that someone could do that with a fucking envelope to give you a paper cut, or they like, why are you sticking your tongue out for him to fucking cut your tongue? I don't know. Maybe I was approaching it a little too critically, but there's
I'm with you. I'm with you.
I just wasn't buying a lot of the first 40 minutes.
There was something weird going on with, I don't know how he was being directed, but I was not. Buddy would have laughed at him immediately from the start. He would like everything he was doing. He would just be like, "You can't hurt," especially knowing how much he's been hurt in the past from his trauma. He would just be like pissing on Guy the entire time.
Yes. The Buddy we get at the end of the movie, especially once there's a woman present, and I guess he's got to like show off. That's the Buddy who I feel like we'd see more.
Okay, well that's a fair point. Let's see. So this movie, okay, I mentioned that, and I really again just want to reaffirm that it was 94 and women were already being disposed of like trash bags in a way by powerful men. I've mentioned that. I just want to be clear on that. I think about the player in this movie, and I think this one rings more true than the player. I really do. Maybe it's kind of specific, and the player is general. It's not as focused maybe on power imbalances as much as this movie is, so maybe that's not fair. But it's not I don't have a huge beef with the player versus this movie either way. And then, can you really remove a magazine copy, every single one, from a town like Los Angeles? Is that before the internet? Was this really a thing? Did I?
And if you get them all, why are you going to bring them all the way up to your office?
I know.
I guess so you can answer the phone. You're going to bring them all the way up to your office along with the garbage cans, just to like. Did you drag them up in the garbage cans so that you can put them in the garbage? Like, how did they get there? I don't know. There's a few things here that just don't add up when you start thinking about them. But
I know this sucks now, but if you do well now, you get rewarded later.
Big.
That's right. Isn't it a sweet man?
Payback.
Big on. There it is. That's great. By the way, the three-way phone call, for some reason, he's in the three-way phone call. Is that how that works? I don't know. I thought that was stupid. Yeah. They're trying to fool us. I used to think like, oh, dude, this is great. And when I was a kid, but now it's stupid to me. So
yeah, it's kind of convenient.
You guys ever have a boss that you fucking hated?
Oh, man. Yeah. Yeah. This dude, he was the kind of dude that would take credit for all the work. The kind of dude that would give you like would like snap at you from across the shop and like crook his finger in the come hither gesture when he was mad at you. That kind of shit. The kind of guy that would corner you and since he's your boss, you're like, okay, I'm listening to a 45-minute hunting story now, and this is gonna be great. I really should be working, but if I walk away from you, I'm in trouble. Yeah. Was there
ever a boss at Blockbuster? Like, who was the boss?
Ed Hubert.
Old Ed.
Oh,
It was
okay.
fine.
I think that's fine. I never heard about a boss.
Didn't he get me too?
Crank the AC? Yeah.
Oh wait, drop the name.
Crank the AC.
Dude, I used to work for this guy every day, and I worked there for like 4 years. Every day before I walked in, like my body would start shaking, and like my heart would start pumping, and my blood would start boiling because I knew I'd have to see his face. Just the sight of it was like Buddy Mackerman. Just the sight of this guy made me so fucking mad that I was like, I got to figure something else out. I have to figure something else out, or I'm going to just walk out of this place today.
Yeah.
It's insane what people with power can do to you. Even if you're a confident person that knows they have things to offer a lot of different people, it's insane what power can do to you.
Even a little bit of power. My guy was a middle manager. Sorry, Mike, go ahead.
Oh, he's a middle manager.
Yeah, but he was my immediate supervisor, so he just lorded it.
Like Todd at Food Town, he sucked.
Yeah, fuck.
But that was we were 15.
That fires you for some mustard, big fucking deal.
Yeah,
that's fine.
I've had so many jobs, so many bosses, but one of the benefits of this question you're asking me is that I quit them so easily, so I wasn't really under the thumb of a lot of bosses. That's actually, it's like I don't give a fuck. This is
okay.
That was a benefit, but
have you ever have you ever adopted their strategy like Guy does immediately?
No, never.
Yeah, that's a big part of this movie is that Guy starts the movie talking to Hank in the mailroom like, if you could pretty please get it to me by the end of the day, that would be so wonderful. And then by the end of the movie, he's got his feet up on the desk and he's like, shut up, listen, learn, Hank, you piece of fucking shit.
You just didn't give a shit anymore. Yeah, so that's right.
So this, cycles of abuse, we've talked about that on this show before. That's something that is happening here. It's not always parents to kids.
No. Are paper cuts that easy to do to someone else, by the way?
I just asked that question.
Yeah, it doesn't happen.
I'm still baffled by that, especially if it's on
bend.
It's just so funny to me.
That's something that only happens on accident. Like, I mean, I'm sure there's a way to do it on purpose, but it seems hard.
Yeah, I said Guy is a total douche and a baby. He's manipulative when he tells Dawn she hates him. I mentioned that, and also, Guy graduates to the big leagues when he realizes you gotta give action to get action. That's a big moment in the movie. That's right, because he says it to her. See, it's like the Nolan thing where they play the line 8 times.
Yeah, because that's the lingo that she learned from Buddy. It's all.
Guy, you have to work after 5 p.m. Oh, kidnap your boss and torture him.
You guys going to see these Macaulay Culkin action flicks?
Dude. The Sony channel? Is that a thing?
I'm there.
I didn't know that was a thing. Yeah, Also, I wanted to ask you guys about this. If they had not given the backstory on Buddy's wife, would they have changed the movie for you in any way, good or bad, indifferent? Did anybody think about this? Because I'm like, what if they hadn't brought that? Like, this guy's just a king prick.
I couldn't. I'm so fucked, and I'm so old and out of touch that I literally have notes saying, "Make Buddy more." I crossed him out after I got fucked at the end. I'm like, oh, I completely forgot about the wife. I completely forgot about the wife. And I have notes that are like, Buddy is like a drill instructor that goes home and he's a family man and really nice. If you show the fact that he's like taking care of his disabled son or his mother, you have a really well-rounded character. Because I forgot about the wife.
There was one moment. There was one moment I thought was really revealing that I liked. That's like, why don't you show some background, show some backbone, huh? And then like he throws a book at him, and then there's a little moment where we see him after he closes the door, Buddy, and he laughs to himself. He's not. Yes. He's not mad. He's literally not mad. He just enjoys fucking abusing people. And
I noticed that a lot more this time.
It's a really telling but small moment, which I think really works in the movie.
But it also says that Buddy had to do this. His life sucked. He hated it. So now he's going to, damn it, it's my turn. You know, that's,
he says it. Yeah. Like he went through the same shit.
Is that fair? And also, is this job makes sense that it has a year timeline on it because it's so exhausting that he wants to keep, he doesn't want someone to stick around too long because they will burn out. So 1 year would actually make sense for the next assistant. True. Yeah. Just the job thing doesn't make sense that everybody, how many VPs of studio jobs are there if we're like rotating through an assistant every year?
Probably a lot, actually.
Yeah, you're right. Never mind. I take that back.
Yeah. I'm not sure if I would even spit. I'm not even sure if I would spit in Al's coffee, and that's the boss I was talking about earlier. I don't even know if I could spit in Al's coffee. That's such a dick move.
He hardly spits though. It's kind of a weak spit. I'd much prefer Kids in the Hall Brain Candy's coffee effort.
And I think you also got to think about what happened before that, right? Like, literally, Buddy tells him, I'm gonna build you up to Cyrus. I'm gonna introduce you to Cyrus. What? And instead, he does he goes out of his way to make sure that Guy sees that he's stolen all of the credit and put all of the blame on him for the misspellings. Like why would you That's weird. Like, I get that he does it, but he goes out. He's making direct eye contact with him while he's saying "fuck you," I'm gonna say your shit. It's just so weird.
Even watching that scene, if I was Guy, I'd be like, well. Of course, I'm thinking about it at this age, at 44, just like we all are. Yeah. But at this age, I'm like, go for it. Take it. It's yours. I work here. In a year, I'm going to have a great job because you're doing this shit to me. But to watch this kid snovel and grovel and be such a fucking baby because he's not. I mean, my wife tells the story about how she would hosted a job fair for her company, and she had to talk all these people coming in, getting applications, talking to her about what she did and how she attained her status at her career. And she tells the story about this kid who comes up and he's like, hi, and she's like, hello, and he's like, how do I get your job? And she's like, huh? Well, I'm the senior vice this and this. And he's like, yeah, how do I just get that? How do I do that right now?
Can I have that? Yeah, and give me that. God,
my blood boil.
Well,
you don't, asshole.
There was a real dickhead at the big boy in Okemos. I will say that guy was the worst. Oh yeah, what a prick! That guy was miserable. He was tall and he sounded like Mike, oh, this is the best boring. Really,
imagine lording your power over others in a big boy.
Big boy.
You're in this fucking little building in this little town and a big boy.
Imagine being 20 and actually taking it seriously.
Fill up the cream of broccoli soup, you fuck. Where's the oyster crackers?
Seriously, I should do a separate episode and think about all my bosses because there's 80 jobs, 85 jobs. I don't know. There's so many bosses. So it'll be fun. I'll do that.
So if you take scissors and cut someone's hair, does the hair grow back? Because in this universe, the hair doesn't grow back. Apparently, he's like, you're fucked for life. I cut your hair with scissors. There's no growing back. I'm like, isn't there? But it's hair.
Mangled.
Brilliant. Fucking brilliant.
Massimo hat will take care of that immediately.
Yeah, don't worry. Massimo hat in effect, y'all. Booyah. Also, they work at a big time studio. Abodante, one of my favorites, definitely. You work at a big time studio like Keystone Studios. When you get a big promotion, you get a shitty congrats guy sign that's like from the local paper hut or something.
Well, that says a lot, doesn't it? I mean, he's literally in the room adjacent to his old desk. He's right across from Buddy's office, so he's literally right next. He's like, he went from a shitty little cubicle out front to his own shitty little thing, and nobody cares. Like he gave it all up for nothing.
Yep, he did. So the ending then, does it? Let's talk about the ending real quick here. Is it hit anybody like, whoa? How big was it to you guys when we were younger? Because it was like, oh, what an ending. Because they're really doing the classic, I just saw Pulp Fiction or something kind of ending here, right? It's part of that 90s indie big twist, crying game. Yeah, you know. So.
Crying Game didn't have a big twist. Remember that was a mid-film twist.
You're right. That was mid-film. I'm just trying to say it was part of that whole 90s thing where it was a thing. Maybe the Crying Game's unfair. But
I don't really remember that. I think I was pretty shocked the first time, but that wore off pretty quickly. You know? God.
Yeah, I remember being like, go guy. Yeah, kill her. Get the job, which isn't healthy.
No.
Well, when you're younger, you're motivated. You're motivated. You're a young, motivated man, Eric. It's a different time. So you can't retroact. You can't do the retcon of yourself now. Back then, it's not fair to you back then. That was a young, free man.
You've grown.
Yeah. Also, fucking men, fucking crazy. I love that line. I love that line more now. I'm definitely getting that as a drop on the show.
Yeah, she sells it wonderfully.
She does sell it. She does. Yes.
It's like it's so uneven in a lot of ways, right? In that there's sometimes trash dialogue delivered poorly, and sometimes fucking rock solid dialogue delivered spot on.
Yeah, maybe if George Wang had like, I don't know who is like a paper editor, or copy editor at least, or something. Hey, maybe we could, but he's young too. It was the opportunity. You go for it.
Yeah.
I don't know, man.
Anything else?
Yeah.
Yeah. All right, Travis. Well, take it away.
Stinking long necks. We got Swerve Driver. We got a moment where the band Swerve Driver shows up.
Swerve Driver.
That always made me happy.
Love Swerve Driver.
God, yeah, you're right, man. Like that's the main question I was asking myself. Eric was like, why did I like this movie so much? It's almost disconcerting how much I watched it, because I watched it just too much. I watched it a lot. I was at an age where I could just exhaust myself on things, but I think that it kind of reminded me of Sneakers a little bit in terms of how much I watched a movie. That it kind of like becomes where I don't even need to look at the screen anymore, even though it's been 20 years since I'd seen it. But with Sneakers, there's still like this liveliness and like this fun and this kind of like lightheartedness that's enjoyable to be in. This movie is the funny parts are like sardonic. You know what I mean? They're not like there's not a lot of joy here. It's a pretty bleak movie. And I've seen it so many times, and I think that there really is such thing as seeing a movie too many times, that you could just lose all perspective. So I don't know if my opinion counts at all at this point, because I probably watched it for like the 500th time last night or something. I don't know, but I was really annoyed by Guy in ways that I had never been before. I was underwhelmed by a lot of the performances, even Kevin Spacey, than I was before. There's a lot of things that that you can forgive. Be like, it's a 90s film. It's a fair kind of an indie flick. It wasn't huge budget, but it gets hard to forgive a lot of it. I do think there's some golden moments here, but at no point while watching the movie did I feel like, oh man, I should have returned to this sooner, or I'll watch this again, and I'm going to watch this again soon. I'm going to have to say it does not quite hold up for me anymore.
Oh.
Too many cokes.
Wow. Eric, who goes next?
You. I can't talk about how Swimming with Sharks possibly might not hold up. Watch it every day, my whole life. Mike, you better go. I can't do this.
Okay, I got you, buddy. Don't worry. I don't know what to say, really.
Never apologize.
I didn't have the
sign of weakness.
Don't apologize, Mike. Come on now. Have you learned nothing?
Have you? Clearly, I haven't.
My Batman
so
means more to
be
me
it.
than you do.
Way it goes. You know, there is something about life that is so be it, way it goes. In the end, the rationalization of that from Buddy Ackerman's kind of monologue there speaks true. It does. Despite all the pain or the hopes, everything that comes with humanity and going through the trials and tribulations of being a kid and growing through that and being an adult. And, you know, in this movie, they use the, you know, you got no balls. By 30, you got no brain, which is basically the classic boomer thing about, you know, hey, get it together. Have, you know, be anti-authority, but then if you don't join the establishment, you're a dipshit. So, and this is a boomer movie. I don't think George Huang is he a boomer? I don't know. Is he 75 now? I don't know.
I'll check.
Yeah, that's curious to me now that I'm saying it. And then I look at that lens and think about Kevin Spacey, the actor. Kevin Spacey, the actor, is a great actor. He was. The Human, we're not here to talk about The Human. He is a great actor, always has been. And, you know, I did think about this, and I didn't mention this earlier. What part of his role here, if he's kind of like this mega maniacal maniac kind of guy that maybe he is in real life, like how much of this was like real Kevin Spacey too? Maybe that's kind of interesting. I wish I'd brought that up earlier. Maybe we can chat about that, but that's something also maybe we don't want to talk about because we'd like to cover the art here, and because it's already been, you know, editorialized and spoken about ad nauseum on the internet. So in the end, I was entertained, which I always say matters to me, but there's also this guy sucks so bad, just like you said, Travis. He sucks so bad, and I never noticed it as much, but boy, I got no sympathy. Hey, can't step up and take it. I got no sympathy for you. And I have to agree with Buddy Ackerman on that one, which is kind of funny. So I'm going to say that there's some good messaging and highly topical stuff in this film. You can have, this has been a worthy discussion. It's an absolute perfect gem for this show to talk about it. It was funny as hell to me 30 years ago, much less funny this time around, but also kind of spot on. I'm going to say this movie holds up. I'm going to say it holds up because there's some real shit in this movie. There is.
Huang is a Gen Xer. He was born in 66.
Oh, okay. Thank you very much.
Okay. What does George Huang want us to get out of this? He works under Joel Silver. He's under the tutelage of this maniac. So he decides to write a movie, gets successful. And like, what does he want the message to be? But the message of this movie is very grim and it's ugly and mean-spirited. So why not a better message like, no, that's not the way it goes. Be a good person. Maybe good things will happen that you can live with at the end of the day. Like, why is this message so fucking ugly?
This isn't A Wonderful Life.
I guess so. At the end of the day, my last note, which I wrote in highlighted and underlined, was... let me find it here. I like the dialogue. It's fun to watch. That's what I wrote at the end. I like the dialogue. It's fun to watch. Somebody puts this on in a couple of years, you're not going to be like, oh, fuck that movie. Hell no. Dude, when's the last time you saw it? This sucks. No, next. You might be inclined to check it out still. I mean, swim with sharks here. That's why I have to give it the pass. The first half hour is still fun, and there's good lines in there that are fun to watch. Like, and Guy's a sniveling fuck, but there's interesting stuff here. Like at certain points, he's this like weird apologist for Buddy, and so it's got some interesting messages about victimization. I learned a valuable lesson: don't put too much cream cheese on Buddy's bagel. I mean, you can learn a lot from that. Mostly not to be like how Guy is, if you're smart enough to understand those things about yourself. But there's interesting things that you can learn from here, man.
Also, bring fucking Sweet and Low if your brand new boss asks for Sweet and Low, you bring the man goddamn Sweet and Low. Come on.
Pink and blue, everybody knows that.
It's serious.
Yeah. That's all gone now, right? That also shows you how unhealthy maybe our upbringing may have been, and it still is. So anyways, Travis said the first 30 minutes of the movie kind of sucked, right? You're like,
no,
or at least you said Kevin Spacey's acting sucks. I'm sorry, he didn't believe
sucked
it.
Is a strong word. I don't find a lot of it convincing in the hostage scenes. I just didn't find that stuff.
Okay. I was exactly the same way. But yeah, I mean, it's so weird that I fucking felt bad for Buddy a lot of the time. A lot of the time, I wrote down, I feel bad for Buddy.
Yeah, maybe
a lot of the time.
So, I hang on a minute before we wrap this up. Let me maybe. Let me maybe reconsider because
what unheard of.
I'm listening to both of your final arguments, and it's kind of making me rethink mine because you're both right in that with age, my perspective has completely 180 shift in that I went from thinking. I mean, I still think that that Buddy's a fuckwad, but I have a lot more sympathy for him and appreciation for him and like his what's going on there, I guess, to a degree. And I really came to loathe Buddy Guy in a way that I never had before. And it did make me think a lot about the stuff that we're talking about. I mean, I guess is that I think I have a stricter kind of idea about what it means to hold up at this point. Like, to me, it's like it's gotta be as good or better than I remember it in order for it to hold up. You know what I mean? It's gotta hold up to be as good as I remember it. And if it's not as good as I remember it, then it doesn't hold up.
It's your opinion, Travis.
So I'm going to stick with that. I'm going to stick with it.
Okay.
2 out of 3. Right. That's not. I think that's about right for this movie. I do think that there is value in this movie, absolutely. And, I'm glad I brought it to the table.
Yeah. I'm glad you did too. I think it holds up. I think you could show this to. I wonder what would happen if you showed this to a fucking 19-year-old kid today. Would he watch it over and over again?
Let's do a live screening, and we'll only invite 19-year-olds only.
Oh, we're gonna have to edit that. But yeah, man.
Oh,
I don't know.
Oh.
I had fun.
All men only, actually. Yeah, how about that? So then we can squeeze the gender out once more, just like this movie does.
Cis men, it's getting weird, man.
Cis men the movie?
Just stop.
Cis men the movie? I can't believe I missed
the feed.
I can't believe I missed the your commentary about the movie. What do you want the movie? That's so funny.
Yeah, what is it you really want the movie? Then we also said cute little butt the movie.
Get your cute little butt in here, the movie. You got to say the whole line. All right, there it is. Soybeans Sharks. Interesting conversation. I'll tell you what. This mid-year of the Cinema 9 podcast in season 5 might be one of our strongest seasons yet. I'm getting great feedback on the High Fidelity episode and our discussion here. Again, some really poignant stuff. Some good movies have been chosen.
You've gotten good feedback on our discussion here?
Yeah. Yes. I just via satellite. Yeah.
My feedback is you said you'd be done a half hour ago via the text I'm getting from upstairs.
Oh yeah, dude. I'm literally missing the whole Is It Safe episode with Dave Horning right now. So it's whatever. I told him to start without me. No, well, this is a good show. You can't bail on a good thing.
Yeah, let's wrap it up. I didn't know you were still doing that.
No, it's okay. I was late. The border held me up. Life goes on. So, Eric, what will we watch next week?
I thought long and hard about this, and even though it's a bit controversial because we have an actor from this movie in next week's movie, I had to pull the trigger. Yeah. It's not a big deal. It's not a big deal. And I think it's a strong choice because, I mean, I'm kind of in this Renaissance period myself after watching all these interviews. Going back to 1997, a film that we watched a million times.
Oh, boy.
It has been due to come on this show since day one. What the fuck are we even doing here if we have a podcast?
I think I got a laser disc over here.
And we're not even bringing it up? Are you fucking kidding me, dude?
Sunny red or Sunny black?
No. Mike, Travis, you're on the wrong page.
Oh, okay.
I'm on the right path there?
A film by Curtis Hanson.
Roma.
Confidential.
Roma. Yes, that's it. That's what I thought. Rollo Tomassi. That's exactly what I was saying. I read this one.
I thought we were talking Donnie Brasco.
1997, right, cool. Actor from this movie. Oh, yeah, that was hell yeah.
It was another one that was always bound to come to the show, right? It was always going to happen.
Huge movie.
Such a big deal. Yeah. Oh, my God.
Yeah.
All right, cool.
Oh, wow.
Good choice.
Oh, wow, we're on a fire. Tune in next week. Watch us live. We have our latest video up posted for, well, not this one because we're just wrapping this up, but the last episode is available on YouTube as well. Ricochet. A lot of fun. A little more goofy for that episode as opposed to this one. Thanks for being here. CinemaNinePod@gmail.com. Travis, Eric, Michael, thank you so much, and take her easy.
The Poseidon Adventure.
Rex, that's a name for a mutt.
Shelley Winters.